Today, I'm going to talk about fear of the unknown, and I'm going to give you an antidote to fear of the unknown. Now, why am I talking about fear of the unknown? Because most of the people who are staying in jobs where they are literally suffering, they're miserable, they're unhappy, they're overworked, they are overwhelmed. They are wanting to escape, but they stay there. And quite frankly, they make other people around them miserable. They're often complaining. They're often really tired, maybe not even from the actual work, but just tired, mentally tired from having to go to a job day after day, week after week, year in and year out, that they know they want to leave. Fear of change is what is keeping them there. Fear of the unknown. And despite going to work every day and maybe complaining to your colleagues, and maybe your colleagues are unhappy too, and despite your health, your physical health suffering, your, as I said, your relationships suffering, despite all of the unhappiness that you may have, you're not making a change because of fear of the unknown. As human beings, we like certainty. And this is built in. This is a built in part, a mechanism of helping us stay stable when we become adults. But it is not useful when you want to make progress in your life, or you want to improve your life, or you want to get out of a bad situation. People stay in relationships because of fear of the unknown. People stay, of course, in jobs they hate, in all kinds of situations that they don't want to be in. Because what is the alternative? The alternative is going into something that is unknown. And the mistake that a lot of people make, before I share the antidote, I want to tell you the mistake that a lot of people make is thinking that what they have is a certain. And let me give you an example. Many people who work for big corporations, I could name a few: Twitter, Google, Facebook, these big places, LinkedIn, Salesforce. These are big companies. General Motors, all the big, gigantic companies. Many people make the mistake that there is security there. And the reason they think there's security there is they look at it's too big to fail. Remember that concept with banking, just too big to fail? We know from history that is not true. Big businesses. Sears was a gigantic business at one point. It's coming back now. But many large businesses have gone out of business, or they've downsized significantly. So the mistake that a lot of people make is they think, oh, I'm in something and it's a known and I'm safe. I'm safe. I've got security. But the truth is, at any point, if you work anywhere, in a blink of an eye, you could be downsized out of a job. I've worked in places where they've cut the staff literally in half, and boom, you're out of a job. It's a false security if you're in a job and you think, oh, this is safe. I know what tomorrow is going to bring. The truth is, none of us know what tomorrow is going to bring. But I want to also say, I really understand this fear of change, this fear of the unknown. I have been working with human beings for 4 decades, for over 4 decades now. And I know this is built into us as human beings. It's a protective mechanism. And so I want to reassure you that don't blame yourself. Don't blame yourself from staying in a place because you are fearful of the unknown. You don't want to go into the uncharted territory. Blame is not going to help you. But I do have something that is going to help you. I'm going to share with you the antidote to this fear of the unknown. And what the answer is, particularly if you're thinking, I want to get out of this job, I hate this job, I really want to be done with it. It worked at a certain point, it paid me what I needed. One of the things that's going on in your brain is, oh, but can I get paid what I need in the future? Am I going to the workplace? Am I going to my new colleagues? Is it going to work for me? So all these questions are coming up. But here's the thing that you really need, and you may have heard of this, that I'm going to say a statement. Knowledge is power. So the antidote to the fear of the unknown is knowledge, but not just any kind of knowledge, not like just book learning and, oh, I have a degree and I know a lot of stuff, not general knowledge, a very specific kind of knowledge. And the knowledge that will help you and be that antidote to the unknown, the knowledge that you need is to know that what you have, your skills, your strengths, your capabilities have value and are valuable to other places than where you are right now. So the key and the thing that you need to know is that you have value and you can take your skills, your strengths, your passion, your enthusiasm, your desire, your work ethic. You can take that and you can transfer that to a different job, maybe a completely new career field. So let me talk about this specific kind of knowledge you need. I call it your zone of genius. And when you know your zone of genius, again, your confidence comes up. You become aware that everything that you've learned, all of your experiences, even things that you thought, oh, this will never transfer to another career field, all of these things become knowledge for you to understand they have value. And your past has value and can influence your ability to convince an employer that what you have, where you've been, and the skills and the strengths and the passions that you have, these are applicable. I call that your zone of genius. When you know your zone of genius, this is the place where you have already done an inventory of what lights you up. What are you passionate about? What would you even do for no money at all? What are the things that really excite you? So, when you know your passions, when you know your natural strengths, the things that come easily to you do, and other people say, how do you do that so easily? They are your natural strengths. Okay. And your skills, everything that you've learned, things that you didn't have to go to school for, but things that you maybe learned by doing, skills that you picked up along the way in your life. So when you know the intersection of your passions, your strengths, and your skills, I call that's your sweet spot, and I call that your zone of genius. When you become clear about that is power, that is the knowledge that you need in order to feel valuable, feel like, oh, I am somebody who can make a contribution. I just have to find out where that contribution will fit. Even though I've been using it over here in this circumstance, in this career field, I need to find out where I can take all of this zone of genius and plug it in out there. I'm going to give you a very clear case example. A client that I'm working with now, I'm going to call her Anne. She's in a specific, she's in the arts and entertainment field. Let's just call it that. And so that's a whole big career field. And she wants to get out of that and she wants to do something else. So, of course, I have taken her through my career clarity formula. And part of the career clarity formula, one of the steps in there is helping people find their zone of genius, that intersection of your passions, your strengths, and your skills. Now, so we did all of this. We did this big inventory. What do you love to do? What are you really super good at that comes easily to you? And what are all the skills that you have acquired in the course of your 40 years on earth, right? We've gotten her clear. And now that she came to me fearful and she said, I nobody's going to understand that the industry that I'm in now has value anywhere else. That's what she said to me. So she had a great deal of fear and worry and doubt and anxiety. And she was miserable where she was, but she was hesitant for quite a long time. She was hesitant to even consider making a change because in her mind, she said to herself, I don't have any transferable skills. I'm locked in to this industry. Tell me if you can relate to that. Have you ever said to yourself, I know everything I could know about what I'm doing now, but how could I ever take that anywhere else? How could I ever be rewarded for what I'm able to do in my current situation? So that's where she was. She was doubting herself. She did not see her capabilities and see how easily, when we identified her zone of genius, part of doing that is really validating. We validate that, yes, this is what you should be doing because it's easy for you. You are fully engaged when you're doing these sorts of things and you're making this kind of contribution. When we figured that out, her confidence came up 100%. And she began to see she could take this zone of genius, this skill set, these experiences, her valuable, yeah, life experience outside of work, even. She began to see how valuable that would be and that she could take that to other industries. So, right now, that's where she's at. She's in the zone, she's in her own place of knowledge. Knowledge is power, and her knowledge now is what she does best and what value she can bring to other industries. And it is transferable. So she's super excited, and there are more steps for her to take. And she'll need to go into the research phase where she's researching the types of companies she wants to work for and the things that would really match her value system and to see what their mission is and if it's in alignment with what she values and wants. So there are other things for her to do. She's going to have to do research, she's going to have to build some relationships and have those informational interviews where she learns more and more about the different industries where she can take her special sauce, her zone of genius, right? So there are other steps, and then she'll have to have a resume that really points to that new industry and explains to other people, and a LinkedIn profile that really shows this is why her skills and her background are applicable to the new industry that she wants to eventually land in. And then she'll be in the interview phase and she'll be clear and she'll be articulate and she'll be able to come across as somebody who, again, can bring so much of value because of her past experience. So your past experience is not going to be a detriment. It's going to be an asset. But you can't go into the future unless you have knowledge of your specific zone of genius, the value that you can bring based on everything that you've done before. It is, and you can begin to articulate first to yourself, why is everything that I'm doing and done, why is that something that is really going to be an asset and help me in this future career? Quite simply, the antidote to fear of the unknown is knowledge. It is self knowledge. It is knowledge of your uh, sweet spot. I call it your zone of genius. Once you have that, your self confidence comes up, you become empowered. And even though you may still be in the same job, she's still in her job. Things have changed remarkably. Every time I see her, we do when we work on Zoom together, she looks healthier, she looks happier. And so many things have happened because she has gotten to know herself and value herself more and more instead of feeling stuck and miserable and that there's no way out. In fact, her colleagues have are jealous of her because she's taking action. She's learned about how valuable her experience is, and she's learned that this is really the ticket to her future, building that next career. So I hope this has been useful to you. I am wanting to encourage you, and I really want to really show you empathy and compassion. I understand, as I said, I've been working with human beings, the mind and the inner psychology of human beings for over 4 decades. And fear of the unknown is natural. It is natural. But the answer, the solution is to have the knowledge about yourself and get clear about what value you have already. And once you are clear about that, once that is a known, you can go into this thing that you're calling the unknown. The future is unknown to all of us. And believe me, even if you are working for an organization, an industry, a big company, you may think that you have stability and job security. You may think that. But as I said, in the blink of an eye, an employer can wipe out half or more of the sales of the employee group if they choose and if they have to downsize. So, really, the truth is the only thing that you can count on is knowing that you have value in the workplace and you can take your assets, your passions, your strengths, and your skills, and you can use all of the experience that you've gained over time, and it can be applied to somewhere you want to go in the future. Drop me a line. Let me know what you think of my message today. And I just want to reassure you that fear is natural, hesitation is natural. But once you decide, as my client Anne decided, that you are done with feeling miserable and you decide that you are going to make a change, the next step is really looking for the right support. Get help, get support, drop me a line, message me. I'm happy to chat with you. And I want to reassure you that to be afraid of the future and to be afraid of the unknown is natural, but start learning about you and your zone of genius, and that is going to increase your confidence, your self confidence. So, this is Patrice Perillo, and I'm on the journey with you, and I'll see you next time. Take care.